Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie, jestem Kark, a to jest Starfield. I wracamy do gry. Mamy się z Sarą wybrać na pomnik. To ruszamy. Sara, gdzie jesteś? Wszyscy siedzą. Sara się znalazła. No cześć ty mój ptaszku.
The Colony War Memorial is actually quite lovely, in a solemn sort of way. I don't mind at all. Go ahead. Sure. Glad to help.
Dobra, a tu coś się zmieniło?
Go ahead. Absolutely. Sona is clever, and she's proven that she can tackle anything life throws in her path. You can rest assured that she will get the best education and care that Constellation can possibly provide. You know, Sona and I share an interesting bond. We both survived on that inhospitable world, and it drastically altered our lives. Most importantly, though, I'm certain we're both stronger after the experience.
No to spoko.
I'll be here.
Okay.
If you'll just bear with me, I promise I'll explain everything.
Co ty mi chcesz wyjaśniać? Dobra, ciśniemy.
Hey there.
Cześć. Dawaj, Sara, dawaj. No. A ten pomnik to jest tu? Czy to trzeba gdzieś jechać? A tu. Cześć. Siemka, Sara. A gdzie ty tam ciśniesz?
Look at this. All these people. Their entire lives distilled down to names on a memorial. I wonder how close I came to being reduced to just a name. I am proud. I was simply too foolish to realize it until you changed my perspective. You know what? You're absolutely right. I do. Which is why we really need to talk about our friendship and where things are headed with us. Just let me have another moment here, and then we can head over to the waterfall, so we can talk in private. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Sara, zapraszam cię do wodospadu. Jak tam się idzie?
Captain, over here.
Co? Aha, nas to ciągnie do kolejki. Dobra. Chodź, Sara, chodź. Dajesz. Sara Morgan. I nie zdążyłaś.
It's not much further. I think you'll want to hear what I have to say after we arrive at the waterfall.
I'm applying for a job at Hope Tech, but I don't know if I can handle all this.
Nice day, huh?
Ciekawe, gdzie my idziemy. No chodź, teraz się nie spóźnij. Tu, Sara, chodź, tu. się cieszysz, że właśnie. A ty co to był za... Aha. Promenada z wodospadem. A gdzie ten wodospad?
She probably has a painting that wounds me.
Ciśniesz, Sara? Taki wodospad.
When things at the lodge are too much, I love coming to this spot to just sort of, I don't know, melt away for a while.
Tu chyba jeszcze nie byłem.
It's lovely here, isn't it?
Prawda?
I've been from one end of the settled systems to the other. But this place, this exact spot, there's nowhere else like it in the galaxy. I don't know. I'm not sure I can explain it. Maybe it's the strange way that the art, technology, and nature fuse together, or maybe it's because it feels like home. Whatever it is, I definitely feel more comfortable here than anywhere else I've ever been. I hadn't thought of it that way. But you're absolutely right. I usually come up here to mull over some of the heated debates we have at Constellation. You'd be surprised how many decisions I've made on this very spot. That's actually why I asked you to meet me up here. I was hoping we could talk about something very important. Good, because I have a lot to say. It's about my return to Cassiopeia. What we learned about Sona has been constantly replaying in my mind. Maybe it sounds crazy, but that young girl's isolation feels like a reflection of my own life. Don't get me wrong. Compared to Sona, I've had it easy. I've spent my life surrounded by all sorts of people. Constellation, the Navigator Corps. Hell, even the UC military. Despite that, no matter how hard I've tried to make them a part of my life, they tend to drift away and disappear. Are you sure? For all we know, it's in my nature to keep people at arm's length. Or worse, push them away. Yeah, sure. And who wants to take on that responsibility? You? Wait a moment. That's exactly what you're saying, isn't it? Sorry, I just need a moment to gather my thoughts. From things you've said in the past, it's obvious you want to have a serious relationship. You want to become close. So, if you're willing to take that leap of faith with someone like me, then I'm ready to do the same. You're something truly special. You know that? You've helped me conquer my self-doubt, my confidence, hell, everything. For the first time in my life, I feel complete. And with you by my side, I'm convinced that feeling will last forever. You're the best thing that's happened to me in my life. I love you. Always.
Co za scena.
I received a message from my mother a few days ago. She's returned from another one of her sightseeing cruises. Yeah, you know, one of those luxury liner journeys that shows off binary stars, gas nebulas, asteroid fields. Pretty photogenic stuff. Apparently, it's my mother's new favorite pastime. Oh, that's right. I haven't really spoken about her to you, have I? My mother lives in a fairly remote location, so we rarely speak. Tends to keep her out of my mind.
Czyli poznaję teściową.
Good. When I say that to most people, they look at me like I'm crazy. I don't think they realize how much control parents can exert on your life, especially when their dreams conflict with your own. Oh, I'm certain they felt they were doing the right thing. You see, both of my parents were diplomats working under the flag of the UC Administrative Division. After I completed my basic education, they signed me up for a one-year apprenticeship in their department, without bothering to ask. Wanted isn't the right word. Demanded would be more appropriate. For my apprenticeship, I was sent to Sidonia. My job consisted of drafting political policies and arbitrating trade disputes. The silver lining of the job was that it allowed me to spend time exploring every square inch of Mars. You have to understand, this was my first time I was alone on another world. Now, don't get me wrong, Jemison is an amazing place, but for me, it was the old neighborhood. Mars was like a new frontier. Oh, I spent every waking moment I could exploring the planet. I was swallowed by it. Months before the apprenticeship ended, I dumped my diplomatic certification and joined the UC Navy. Of course, my parents didn't approve. We had a huge argument that resulted in all ties being severed between us. Yes, I was proud of myself. For a while. You see, my father was killed during the opening shots of the Colony War. I returned to Jemison for the funeral and reunited with my mother. After that, we vowed to stay in touch. After the Freestar Collective started farming Vesta, and the UC pushed back, my father was one of the many diplomats sent in to arbitrate. After the talks broke down, war broke out on Vesta, and all of the UC diplomats were evacuated from Freestar space. Unfortunately, my father's transport was caught in the crossfire. Aren't you sweet? Always concerned with how I'm feeling. That's why I fell in love with you. Your smile, your caring. It brightens even my darkest days. Listen, I'm going to be completely upfront with you. All this talk of family, it makes me wonder where our own relationship stands.
To kurde, z tego romansu na ten związek to już przeszło.
You mean that? You do that? For me? I've been dreaming about this moment and still... I don't know what to say. Yes, yes, of course, yes.
Of course.
I just need a little time to think about the ceremony. I have some thoughts about how we should move forward. You
Takiej
know,
ceremonii.
I used to dream about finding the love of my life. And here you are. All I ever needed was you, right here beside me.
Sara, nie zagalopowuj się. To był szybki romans na moście. Jeszcze szybszy związek. Ale spokojnie.
If I can help you with anything, just say the word. Sure, but you better not make me cry. I can't believe how perfectly we were made for each other. We're in love. Do you even need to ask? Good. Anytime you want to talk about our relationship, just let me know. God knows you've done that enough times for me. If it means I get to spend more time with you, then ask away. There was a particular someone back in my days with the UC Navy. We actually became quite close at first, but as I rose in rank, I became more interested in my career than what she needed from me. I let her drift away. By the time I realized what was happening, it was too late. She requested a transfer, and I lost touch. Anyway, I've dated other men and women at various points in my life, but I'd hardly classify any of them as relationships. As you might have guessed, I tend to concentrate on work and let my personal feelings fall by the wayside. It often drives others away. Very well. Next time, then. The bond we have between us feels unbreakable. It's like nothing else I've ever experienced in my life. Good. Anytime you want to talk about our relationship, just let me know. God knows you've done that enough times for me.
Dobra.
It was really good talking to you.
Okej. No, normalnie. Co tu jest? Spotkaj się. Weź się kręcę. Tu tych drobnych to jest masa. No dobra, no. Zróbmy jeszcze tu. Dobra, Sara, idziemy. Co z tobą, Sara? Nie idziesz?
I'm meeting my girlfriend for drinks at the viewport tonight.
Co z dziewczyną na drinko? No spoko. No ale chwila, co ja tu mam aktywnego? Chociaż w sumie... Ja nie mam żadnej misji aktywnej. Sara, zdążysz? Ale zasuwa. Ty nie masz plecaka? Weź, Sara znowu została. Ona się chyba faktycznie boi jeździć tymi kolejkami.
Happy to listen.
Chętnie cię wysłucham, ale kto kogo?
A lot on your mind? Of course not, my love.
No dobra, no tu nic nie ma, no to po co mi się to wyświetla?
You be
Dobra.
careful, okay?
Okej.
I'm gonna leave New Atlantis for good.
No super. A Donna Ryan, my się znamy?
I wonder if I'll miss New Atlantis when Tony and I leave. No, probably not. Oh, hi there. I'm doing great. How about you? Glad to hear it. Yeah, life is good, isn't it? I'm
Bardzo
trying to
dobre.
save up enough money so that I can go explore the settled systems with my boyfriend, Tony. I think we're finally getting close.
Co?
Tony and I want to see what else is out there. I love my job, but there has to be more to life than just being a janitor in New Atlantis. What about you? Have you gone on any adventures? Whoa. I have no idea what that means, but that sounds really important. I'll keep my eyes peeled for any artifacts, okay?
Okej.
Really? Well, I guess you're right. I'm feeling a bit run down. I really love my job, but it's hard work and long hours. I could definitely use a terracino from Terra Brew right now. Ah, no worries at all. I was just thinking out loud. Don't trouble yourself on my account.
Okej.
Take care of yourself.
Ty też. Sara, no sorry, musiałem porozmawiać z panią. Trzeba przejść do góry, ja?
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Vae Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it. A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked. He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the Colony War to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him. That's not an unfair assessment. But what we're doing now, I'm really trying to set some things right here. So your help means a lot more than I figured you might realize. I just thought you ought to know. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift. I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being fleet admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the colony war, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy, perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me too.
But Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life.
Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terrormorph project was, well, a failure. There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized. Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terrormorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Nie macie Sara? Chodź Sara, chodź. Idziemy na spotkanie rządu. Chodź kochanie.
Captain, can I help you?
Dopiero co tam byliśmy, nie? Chodź Sara. Co ty w kącie stoisz?
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terrormorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terrormorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terrormorph seem at all alarming to you?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not. The archives need to remain sealed for now. There's no reason to rush into a decision of this magnitude.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terrormorphs.
Terrormorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, Order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
If you need something, I've got your back. Take care of yourself.
We're needed down at the spaceport.
The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Stop! We're trying to help you!
Please! I can't stop!
Let me go. Please. Let me go.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's it! Now hit him with everything you've got!
Why? Why are you fighting me? Don't any further want to feel its embrace.
Stop. Please, God.
Doing
No. You're done. That's not. Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the terrormorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some terrormorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a terrormorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible. So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there. I'm not suggesting. It's documented behavior. The result of the projection, though, can vary wildly. Some folks just shrug it off. Others hallucinate. And some lose control altogether. They'll lash out at anyone around them, but still be aware while they're doing it. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by killing the terrormorph. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Dobra, no to może być ciekawe.
No time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
O panie, ale dziura. A, tam jest terrormorf. No to chwila, to do pana to my musimy inną armatę tu użyć. Mamy jeszcze czym strzelać? Dobra. Dobra.
Surrounded. All around. No way out.
leaving here alive.
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad. We're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Okay. No i tu się pojawia pewien drobny problem. Tu jest 121, ale wolno szczylo. 150, 13, 19, kurde. Okej.
This wasn't on the application.
To mój? Nie, tam jest mój. Co tu jest? A gdzie jest drużyna ogniowa?
Keep the chatter to a minimum. Not in a million years. Another attack, just as we're making our request. It's insane. If this doesn't convince the cabinet to proceed with our request, I don't know what will. I think we need to find these things fast before they turn any of these folks against us. And that it's ultimately going to be safer if we handle these morphs ourselves. No backup. All right. Back at it.
Sara, co ma?
How's it going?
Nasze relacje?
I
Nie.
love catching up with you. Let's do it again sometime.
Dobra, i no jeszcze może granaciki sobie przypiszemy. Granat kontaktowy. Granat odłamkowy. Dobra. Dobra, to dajemy. Rozwalać terrormorfy.
first. Nothing's gonna save you. Nothing's gonna save you.
Surrounded. All around. No way out.
That's the best you've got. You're not gonna leave me, are you? You can't beat it. It's too strong. Give up now. You won't be leaving here alive.
Kuźwa, nie mam naboi.
Closer. Closer now. I can take this boat. You got nothing. Help! Help! Oh, God, help me! Need a gun. Bring it on. What is this, a new surprise? Let's see how quickly you got that.
Nice bit of work there.
Target down. Nice work, Captain.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Jeden wyłówek, bagażu. Dobra, walić ich.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. You best put the right people in the right place. Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the terrormorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Okej, Sara, gdzie jesteś, moja ty luba? Sara? Gdzieś ty się znowu schowała? O, idzie. Te moje nieszczęście. Chodź, Saruś, chodź. Idziemy. A wy wyłączcie tego wyjca. Dobra, ale reszta to już w kolejnym odcinku, a tymczasem dzięki za oglądanie, dzięki, że jesteście. Trzymajcie się i do następnego odcinka. Cześć!